Okay, so we'll start with the nomenclature of bicyclo compounds. First example, let's understand the meaning of bicyclo first. See, you have two rings now. There are two rings. So if I look at the first example, one is this ring and the other one is this ring. So there are two rings which are joined. Here I have Br and here I have CH. So what is the technique of naming such a compound? First of all, identify the larger ring. And if I identify the larger ring, it is this one. And this one is a smaller ring. There's another important term that we have to look at, that is bridgehead carbon. Bridgehead carbon. What is bridgehead carbon? The two carbon atoms which are common to the rings are called bridgehead carbons. Means this is one bridgehead carbon and this is another bridgehead carbon. So there are two bridgehead carbon atoms. So in any bicyclic compound, we have two bridgehead carbon atoms. This is one bridgehead, this is the other bridgehead. Okay, so the rule is to identify the bridgehead carbon atoms and then start the numbering from any one bridgehead carbon atom. So this, if I number 1, this is one bridgehead carbon, so I can put number 1 here. And then I have to number the larger ring first. I have to number the larger ring first. So here 2, 3, 4, 5, and now the smaller ring. This could be one possibility. If I number in this way, then bromine is at the 3rd position and CH3 is at the 7th position. But if I number in this way, that is if I start 1 from here, that is the bridgehead carbon which is at the bottom, if that is numbered 1, then bromine will come at the 3rd position and CH3 will come at the 6th position. That means 3, 6. And here if I do, then it is 3, 7. So obviously 3, 6 will be chosen as the correct set of locants. So this is wrong and this is correct. Now how to write the name? So first we will write the subsequents. So 3 bromo and then 6 methyl because CH3 is methyl, which is at the 6th position. Then bicyclo, the word bicyclo has to be used. And then we put square brackets. Inside the square brackets, we have to put 3 numbers. What do those numbers represent? Let's see that. The first number, that is 3, represents the number of carbon atoms in the larger ring, excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms. So when you are counting the number of carbon atoms in the larger ring, you will not count the bridgehead carbon atoms. So here, if I look at the larger ring, this is 1 carbon, this is 2, and this is 3. So there are 3 carbon atoms, 1, 2, and 3, these 3. So there are 3 carbon atoms in the larger ring. excluding the bridgehead carbons. That is why I wrote 3 here. The next number is 2. Why 2? 2 represents the number of carbon atoms in the smaller ring. Again, excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms. So which 2? This one and this one. These 2. That is the carbon atoms which have been numbered 6th and 7th. So those are the 2 carbon atoms present in the smaller ring. So I have written 2 here. And then I have written 0. After 3 I have written 2, after 2 I have written 0. What does that 0 represent? I'll explain now. What does that 0 represent? So the 0 represents this. If you look at the compound, zero represents the number of carbon atoms between the bridgehead carbon atoms. So between these 2 carbon atoms, there is no other carbon atom, and that is why I have written 0. And then heptane. Why heptane? 7 carbon atoms in total in the numbering. So heptane. So 0 represents that there is no carbon atom present between the bridgehead carbon atoms. That is why I have written 0. Okay. Next one. Now again I have this ring and then there's a smaller ring. Let's look at the rings. Okay, this is a compound. If I identify the larger ring, okay, first let's identify the bridgehead carbon atoms. These are the 2 bridgehead carbon atoms because they are common to both the rings. So these are the 2 bridgehead carbon atoms because they are common to both the rings. So I'll start numbering. Numbering has to start from the bridgehead carbon atoms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. This is the correct way of numbering the compound. So what will be the subsequent here? Cl will be the subsequent. So I can write 7 chloro, 7 chloro, then bicyclo. After the word bicyclo, I'll have to put brackets. These brackets. Within brackets, I have to write down 3 numbers. So let's see which 3 numbers we have to write. The first number represents the number of carbon atoms in the larger ring, excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms. So the larger ring has how many carbon atoms excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I can say that there are 4 carbon atoms in the larger ring, excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms. So 4 will be the number written inside brackets. I'll put 1 dot. Now I will count the number of carbon atoms in the smaller ring. And again, I will say that I'll have to exclude the 2 bridgehead carbon atoms and then count. So that means this is the carbon atom, excluding the bridged carbon atoms in the smaller ring. So there is only one. This is the only carbon atom which is present in the smaller ring, because this is the smaller ring, right? This triangle is the smaller ring. So this carbon atom will be counted because these are bridgehead. So I will exclude the bridgehead. So I will not count the bridgehead and I will count only this. That is why I'll write 1. I'll have to write another number, and that number will be what? That number will represent the number of carbon atoms between the two bridgehead carbon atoms. So between the two bridgehead carbon atoms, if I show you, this is 1 and this is 6. These are the two bridgehead carbon atoms, 1 and 6. Between 1 and 6, there is no carbon atom that can be seen. So 0 is what I'll write here. Why 0? Because between 1 and 6, that is between the bridgehead carbon atoms, there is no other carbon atom present. So I wrote 0. And now finally, in total there are 7. So heptane. The principal functional group here is OH, which is at the second position. So heptane 2-ol. So this is the complete name, which you can see. 7-chloro bicyclo 410 heptane 2-ol. This is the complete name of the second example. Next one. So again, I'll have rings, multiple rings. So let's see. Look at the third example. The first task is to identify the bridgehead carbon atoms. 1 and 5 are bridgehead carbon atoms. This is 1 and this is 5. So 1 and 5 are bridgehead carbon atoms. The larger ring is shown on the left. So this is the larger ring and this is a smaller ring which is on the right. Once we have identified which is the larger ring, we will first number the larger ring. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have numbered the larger ring first. And then we'll number the smaller ring. 6, 7. So 6 and 7 represent the smaller ring. The numbers 6 and 7 that you see represent the smaller ring. And after that, I have numbered the carbon atoms which are left or pending, and they are present between 1 and 5. Those are 8 and 9. So after numbering smaller ring, I have numbered the carbon atoms which are left, that means which are pending, which are remaining. And where are they? They are between 1 and 5. I can say, right, these are between 1 and 5, these two. They are between 1 and 5. So those have been numbered at the end. Hence, the name will be this 2-ethyl because C2H5 is ethyl, which is attached at the second position. Bicyclo. The word bicyclo will come because this is a bicyclo compound. And then I put square brackets. Inside square brackets, I mentioned 3 numbers as usual. The first number represents the number of carbon atoms in the larger ring, excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms. So if I exclude 1 and 5, I can say that there are 3 carbon atoms in the larger ring. That is this one, and this one. So there are 3 carbon atoms in the larger ring. Hence, you can see 3 as the first number written inside the square brackets. Second number is 2. So 2 represents the number of carbon atoms in the smaller ring. Again, excluding 1 and 5. That means these 2. This one and this one. These are the 2 carbon atoms of the smaller ring. So I have written 2. The last number represents the number of carbon atoms between the bridgehead carbon atoms. That means between 1 and 5, what do I have? Between 1 and 5, I have 8 and 9. 8th carbon atom and the 9th carbon atom. Those are present between 1 and 5. And so again, you see 2 at the end. And then nonane. Why nonane? Because there are 9 carbon atoms that have been numbered. So nonane. Any doubt? Anybody has? Okay. Next one. Fourth one. Again, you see a bicyclic compound. The first task is to identify the bridgehead carbon atoms. So which is the bridgehead carbon atom? I can say that there will be 2 bridgehead carbon atoms. This is one bridgehead and this is the other bridgehead. So there are 2 bridgehead carbon atoms. Those carbon atoms which are common to both the rings are called bridgehead carbon atoms. This is one bridgehead carbon atom, this is the other bridgehead carbon atom. So numbering starts from the bridgehead carbon atom. Let's say this is first. And once we number the bridgehead carbon atom, immediately we have to number the larger ring. So this is the larger ring. This is the larger ring. So I have numbered the larger ring. Now I have to number the smaller ring. So this is the smaller ring. And at last I have to number the carbon atom which is remaining, that means which is between the bridgehead carbon atoms. So I can say this is the remaining one, and that is number 8. So this is the correct way of numbering this compound. So first I'll have to write what? Bicyclo. So bicyclo. Then the number of carbon atoms of the larger ring, excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms. That means if I exclude 1 and 5, then this is one carbon atom, there is a second one, this is the other carbon atom, there is a third one, and this is the other carbon atom, there is a fourth one. So 2, 3, 4, these are the 3 carbon atoms present in the larger ring. And so I have written 3 inside the square brackets. Then the second number represents the number of carbon atoms in the smaller ring, excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms. So 6th and 7th are the number of the 2 carbon atoms of the smaller ring, and so I wrote 2. Carbon 6 and carbon 7 are members of the smaller ring. So I have written 2 inside the square brackets. The second number is 2 because the second number represents the number of carbon atoms of the smaller ring. The last number, that is 1, that represents the number of carbon atoms between the bridgehead carbon atoms. Between 1 and 5, I have 8th one, and that 8th one is the carbon between 1 and 5. And so I wrote 1 as the last number inside square brackets. So that 1 represents the number of carbon atoms between the 2 bridgehead carbon atoms. So between this 1 and 5, I have this one, that is the 8th one. I close the brackets and then I write oct because there are 8 carbon atoms in total. So oct. The 6th carbon has a double bond. There is a double bond between 6th and 7th. So oct 6 in, because in means that there is a double bond. 6 represents the position of the double bond. So the carbon 6 has a double bond. So I have written oct 6 in. And then 3 carbonitrile. Why carbonitrile? Because CN is my principal functional group here. So for that, I have to use the suffix. The suffix for CN is carbonitrile because CN is directly attached to the ring. Last time we discussed this case. 3 represents the position of the carbon which contains that CN. So it's 3 carbonitrile because CN is attached to the 3rd carbon atom. So oct 6 in 3 carbonitrile. This is the complete name of the compound. Okay, what is the significance of 3, 2, and 1 inside square brackets? I will repeat that part again. 3, 2, 1. See, in a bicyclic compound, we are supposed to identify the larger ring and smaller ring, and then only we can go ahead. So if I draw again and show you the number of carbon atoms in each ring, then you will understand what the numbers in brackets stand for. So the larger ring has how many carbon atoms excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms? See, this is a bridgehead carbon atom and this is also a bridgehead carbon atom. These two are bridgehead carbon atoms. These two are called bridgehead carbon atoms. The ones which have darkened, right? These two are bridgehead carbon atoms. Now, Excluding these, let's count the number of carbon atoms in the larger ring. So this one is one carbon atom. This one is another carbon atom. This one is another carbon atom. So there are 3 carbon atoms in the larger ring, excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms. So I wrote 3 inside the square brackets. Coming to the smaller ring, let's count the number of carbon atoms of the smaller ring. So one is this one, and one is this carbon atom. So these are the 2 carbon atoms in the smaller ring. That is why I wrote 2. And the final number represents the number of carbon atoms between the bridgehead carbon atoms. So between these 2, I have this carbon atom, this one, and this is the carbon atom present between the bridgehead carbon atoms. So I have written 1 inside the square brackets. So 3, 2, 1. Dot is there. एक एक नंबर के बाद डॉट डालना पड़ता है. That is the rule. यहाँ पे आप कॉमा नहीं डाल सकते. आपको डॉट डालना है. 3 के बाद डॉट, 2 के बाद डॉट और फिर 1. So these are rules for naming bicyclocompounds. Let me show you another bicyclocompound. This is another bicyclocompound. Let's number these and let's try to write down the name of this. So I can say this is the bridgehead carbon atom and this is the other bridgehead carbon atom. These are the 2 bridgehead carbon atoms. So I've darkened them. These are the 2 bridgehead carbon atoms. So I have darkened them. Let's number, because number has to always start from the bridgehead. So number 1 has been assigned to the bridgehead carbon atom. Now I have to number the larger ring. So this is my larger ring. I have numbered the larger ring. Now I have to number the smaller ring. So I have numbered the smaller ring now. So I have numbered the larger ring first, and then I have numbered the smaller ring. Now I have to number the remaining carbon atoms which are present between the bridgehead carbon atoms. So this is what I'll do. Okay. So let's write the name of this compound. will be the name of the compound? Bicyclo. The larger ring. Number of carbon atoms in the larger ring. But when I'm counting the number of carbon atoms in the larger ring, I have to exclude the bridgehead carbon atoms. So I won't count 1 and 6 because 1 and 6 are bridgehead. So which are the carbon atoms which are present in the larger ring, excluding 1 and 6? They are 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are 4 carbon atoms. 2, 3, 4, and 5. These 4. And so I wrote 4. I put a dot. And now I count the number of carbon atoms in the smaller ring, excluding again 1 and 6. So if I exclude 1 and 6 and now count the carbon atoms of the smaller ring, there will be 7, 8, and 9, those 3. So I'll write 3 here. Again, I put a dot. And now finally I count the carbon atoms which are between the bridgehead, that is between 1 and 6. Between 1 and 6, I have 10 and 11. So I wrote here 2. So 10th and 11th, those are the 2 carbon atoms present between 1 and 6. Right? Now I have to write the final name. After this, let's count. Total number of carbon atoms is 11. So undecayed, 11th means undeck. So this is the complete name of the compound. Okay. Next example. So these are the 2 bridgehead carbon atoms. Now, both the rings have same number of carbon atoms. So I cannot say that one ring is larger and the other ring is smaller. No, I cannot say that. Why? Because both the rings have the same number of carbon atoms. In that case, we will number that ring first, which contains the principal functional group. So I have COH, carboxylic acid, which is the principal functional group. So I'll have to number that ring first, which has the principal functional group, because both the rings have same number of carbon atoms. So I cannot say that one is larger and the other is smaller. Both have the same number of carbon atoms. So in that case, we will have to number that ring first, which has the principal functional group. So this is how I'll number. This will be the way to number this. And then I can write it the same manner. So COOH is my principal functional group. That means the other functional groups will become my substituents. So This is one substituent, that is bromo. This is the other substituent, that is hydroxy. Hence the name will be this 7-bromo 10-hydroxy bicyclo 4,4,0 decane 3-carboxylic acid. Why 4,4,0? Let's see that. So 4,4,0. 4 represents the number of carbon atoms in the ring, excluding the bridgehead carbon atoms. So if I exclude 1 and 6, I will say that this is one carbon atom, this is another carbon atom, this is another carbon atom, and this is the other carbon atom. So there are 4 carbon atoms, excluding 1 and 6, in the right-hand side ring. Similarly, in the ring which is on the left-hand side, there are again 4 carbon atoms, that is this one, and this one. So excluding 1 and 6, again there are 4 carbon atoms. And so I wrote 4.4. And finally, dot 0. Why 0? Because between 1 and 6, there is no carbon atom. Between 1 and 6, there is no other thing present. So 0. The COOH is the principal functional group. So I have to use the suffix for that. The suffix is carboxylic acid because COOH is directly attached to the ring. It is at the 3rd position. So I wrote 3-carboxylic acid. So this is the complete name. Okay, next part. Nomenclature of spiro compounds. So in biacyclo, we had 2 carbon atoms which were common to the rings, and that is why we are calling them bridgehead carbon atoms. In spiro, you will have only 1 carbon atom which is common to both the rings. That 1 carbon atom which is common to both the rings is called a 4-degree carbon. So for example, if I write this,
सर आप 1 मिनट स्क्रॉल अप कर सकते हैं?
हाँ, अगर मैं ये लिखूं तो ये देखो एक ही कार्बन एटम कॉमन है दोनों के बीच में. So this is called a 4-degree carbon, right? And this is a smaller ring, and this is the larger ring. ऐसा है. इसको बोलते हैं क्या? स्पाइरो कंपाउंड्स. So there is only 1 carbon atom which is common to both the rings. That is called a 4-degree carbon. All right. Examples. First example. See, now there are 2 rings attached via 1 common carbon atom. That is why this is a spiro compound. Now, the rule for numbering a spiro compound is that you are first supposed to identify the 4-degree carbon. That is the common carbon. So I have taken this one. I have circled it. I have made it dark. So this is a 4-degree carbon atom. And then I have to look at the smaller ring. So here, remember one thing, we have to number the smaller ring first. In bicyclo, we were numbering the larger ring first. In Spiro, we will be numbering the smaller ring first. So smaller ring will be numbered. This is 1, this is 2. At the first, I have one substituent, which is ET. ET means nothing but C2H5. So 1, 2, and then here I add 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the name. 1-ethyl, because at the first carbon you have ET attached. 4-methyl, because from fourth carbon atom you see one line coming out. One line coming out means what? Methyl, CH3. Then Spiro. The word Spiro has to be mentioned. And then again you put square brackets. The first number now represents the number of carbon atoms of the smaller ring, excluding the 4-degree carbon. How many carbon atoms are there in the smaller ring? 2. Why 2? Because I'm excluding the 4-degree carbon. So there are 2, this one and this one. And after 2, I have placed one dot, and then the second number represents the number of carbon atoms of the larger ring, excluding the 4-degree carbon, which is 5. Which 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 carbon atoms in the larger ring. And then oct, because 8 in total, oct, 5 in. Why 5 in? Because there's a double bond at the 5th position. You cannot start numbering from the 4-degree carbon. Remember this. In a Spiro compound, the numbering must start from the carbon which is just adjacent to the 4-degree carbon. That means when you are numbering the smaller ring, just look at that carbon atom which is immediately next to the 4-degree carbon, and there you have to start the numbering. Let me show you another example. If I want to number this, let's say this is my compound. If this is my compound, so again this is the 4-degree carbon. This one is the 4-degree carbon, because it is a common carbon atom between the 2 rings. Now we have to number the smaller ring. This is a smaller ring, so here I will put 1, here 2, here 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be the correct way of numbering this compound. So numbering has to start from a carbon which is just adjacent to the 4-degree carbon, but it has to be a part of the smaller ring. You have to start numbering the smaller ring first for spiro compounds. Try this one. So let's try the next one. This is the next one, right? So again, we will start numbering from the smaller ring because as per the rule, in spiro compound, the smaller ring has to be numbered first. So here 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be the correct way of numbering the compound. Okay. So the principal functional group here is CHO, and that is directly attached to the ring. So I have to use carbonaldehyde as the suffix because when CHO is directly attached to the ring and it is the principal functional group, I use the suffix as carbonaldehyde. So the name is going to be this. One bromo spiro 3.4 octane 6 carbonaldehyde. So the main thing is that for numbering a spiro compound, you must number the smaller ring first. Kindly don't think that because my principal functional group is present in the larger ring, I have to number the larger ring first. No, don't make that mistake. You have to start numbering from the smaller ring always in a spiro compound. So the numbering which is shown on the right hand side, this is wrong. Why wrong? Because here the larger ring has been numbered first and then the smaller ring has been numbered. So that's wrong. Always the smaller ring has to be numbered first. Okay. I told you about the note MECH3 ETC2H5. So sometimes you will come across these notations. So instead of writing CH3, they write Me. And instead of writing C2H5, they write ET. Okay. Let's come to nomenclature of compounds based on benzene. For that, let's understand what is benzene. See, a benzene is a very special type of compound, which is called an aromatic compound. What is aromatic compound? That will be discussed later in detail. But as of now, just remember that benzene is the most common aromatic compound that we study or that we discuss in all the chapters. And benzene is represented in this manner. You see there are 4 different ways of writing benzene. The first one is like this, the second one is this, the third one is this, the fourth one is this. All four represent benzene. So all four are the same. So don't get confused. Either they can write in this manner, or they can write like this, or they can write in this manner, or they can write C6H6. All these represent benzene. So all these are the same. C6H6 is a molecular formula of benzene. Before we go ahead, one thing I would like to clear. This particular thing is cyclohexane, that is C6H12, which we have done already. So don't get confused between benzene and cyclohexane. This is cyclohexane and this is benzene. They are different. They are not the same. The molecular formula of benzene is C6H6, but the molecular formula of cyclohexane is C6H12. So they are not the same. They are absolutely different. They are absolutely different. So please learn how to distinguish between cyclohexane and benzene. नहीं तो लोग क्या करते हैं, ये 6 member ring देख के ही उसको बेंजीन बोल देते हैं. Don't do that. This is not benzene. This is cyclohexane. बेंजीन के लिए आपको ऐसा सर्कल दिखेगा या फिर आपको ऐसे अल्टरनेट डबल बॉन्ड्स दिखेंगे, तो ही वो बेंजीन है, वरना ये बेंजीन नहीं है. That is why I have given you all the 4 representations of benzene. ये चारों के चारों फॉर्म्स होते हैं बेंजीन को रिप्रेजेंट करने के तरीके. All these 4 represent benzene. Another thing is, what is this pH? Capital P and small h. If I write pH, P and H. pH means C6H5. So benzene is what? C6H6 and pH is what? C6H5. pH का full form है phenyl. Right? pH is what? Phenyl. So I'll write here pH is C6H5. ब्रैकेट में इसको क्या बोलते हैं? फिनाइल. Okay. Okay. What is the structure of this? अगर इसका ऐसे लिखना है तो ऐसे लिखना है फिनाइल का स्ट्रक्चर. पहले आप बेंजीन बनाओगे, उसके बाद यहाँ से एक लाइन खींच दोगे, इसको बोलते हैं फिनाइल. बेंजीन से एक लाइन आप खींच दोगे बाहर, उसको बोलते हैं फिनाइल. फिर यहाँ पे कुछ अटैच्ड है, ये कुछ ना कुछ यहाँ पे अटैच्ड रहेगा, तो इज कॉल्ड फिनाइल. ओके. ये थियरी है, ये बाद में पढ़ लेना, ये आपके रेफरेंस के लिए बस. हमारे काम के लिए जो है वो अभी करते हैं हम लोग. कुछ बेसिक एरोमेटिक कंपाउंड्स हैं जिनके आईयूपीएसी नेम्स आपको पहले पता होने चाहिए. जैसे ये पहला वाला CH3 अटैच्ड टू द बेंजीन रिंग, तो आपको बोलना है इसका आईयूपीएसी नेम क्या है? टोलुइन. Also it is called methyl benzene. Both are IUPAC names. तो कुछ कंपाउंड्स के दो आईयूपीएसी नेम्स होते हैं, जैसे हम लोग यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं. There are two IUPAC names for the same compound. Likewise, in the second one, if you see, there are again two IUPAC names for the same compound. तो कुछ ऐसे होते हैं बेसिक IUPAC names जो आपको पता होने चाहिए. So you have to make a note of these IUPAC names of some aromatic compounds. Because if you know these, then only we can go ahead and discuss the nomenclature of other aromatic compounds. तो ये बेसिक्स है. तो कुछ ऐसे कंपाउंड्स हैं जिनके एरोमेटिक, जिनके आईयूपीएसी नेम्स आपको पहले याद करने पड़ेंगे. So likewise there are few. बाद में लिख लीजिएगा कितने हैं ऐसे याद करने के लिए. 14. There are 14 compounds, 14 aromatic compounds whose IUPAC names have to be learned by you first. These 14 which you see. तो ये बेसिक्स है. ये 14 अगर आपको पता है तो इन 14 नेम्स के बेसिक्स के ऊपर हम लोग बाकी कोई भी आईयूपीएसी नेम एरोमेटिक कंपाउंड का लिख सकते हैं. बाकी रूल सेम है जो हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी पढ़े हैं. प्रिंसिपल फंक्शनल ग्रुप आइडेंटिफाई करो, वो सब सेम है. बट द पॉइंट इज यू मस्ट नो दीज 14 आईयूपीएसी नेम्स फर्स्ट so that you are able to solve other ones. All right, let's start with the nomenclature of aromatic compounds. Example देता हूं. फर्स्ट एग्जांपल आ गया. बेंजीन के साथ देखो क्लोरीन, क्लोरीन अटैच्ड है, तो क्या होगा इसका नाम? 1,3 डाइक्लोरोबेंजीन. Why 1,3? फर्स्ट पे भी Cl है, थर्ड पे भी Cl है, so 1,3 डाइक्लोरोबेंजीन. सेकंड एग्जांपल, CH3 अटैच्ड है, so 1,4 डाइमिथाइलबेंजीन. Why 1,4? फर्स्ट पे भी CH3 है, फोर्थ पे भी CH3 है. तो जैसे हम लोग साइक्लिक कंपाउंड्स पर नंबर करते थे वैसे ही यहाँ पे भी नंबर कर रहे हैं. सेम वे लाइक वी डिड इन द लास्ट लेक्चर. नंबरिंग इज एसेंशियल. विदाउट नंबरिंग नथिंग विल वर्क. Next one. Now COOH is directly attached to the ring. So COOH will be the principal functional group. तो बाकी सब सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स बन जाएंगे. So this is going to be the IUPAC name. 4-bromo because fourth पे bromine है, third nitro because 3 पे NO2 है, और फिर benzoic acid. क्यों benzoic acid? देखो मैंने बोला था टेबल में जाओ, दिख रहा है ये वाला बेंजोइक एसिड, फिफ्थ वाला. सो जब COOH डायरेक्टली अटैच होता है बेंजीन के साथ उसको बोलते हैं बेंजोइक एसिड. दिस वन. So when COOH is the principal functional group and it is attached to the benzene ring, you will call it benzoic acid. So वही किया है मैंने यहाँ पे. इसके लिए एंड में देखो बेंजोइक एसिड आ गया. So the end of the name is always determined by the presence of the principal functional group. COOH is the principal functional group. Because you all know the priority series which we have discussed last week. Priority series में सबसे पहले आता है COOH. तो जब भी COOH आपको दिखेगा that will be treated as the principal functional group. Next one. Now you see there are two groups. One is OH and one is NH2. OH and NH2 में से प्रायोरिटी मिलती है OH को. अगर आप देखोगे तो प्रायोरिटी सीरीज को. अल्कोहल्स एंड अमाइंस में से पहले प्रायोरिटी मिलती है अल्कोहल को. OH is alcohol and NH2 is amine. So OH will get the priority out of OH and NH2. इसके लिए जहां पे OH अटैच्ड है वहां पे मैंने 1 डाल दिया और फिर नंबर किया कंपाउंड को. So OH is my principal functional group in this compound and OH is directly attached to the benzene ring. That is why I will use this name. Look at the table. दिख रहा है यहाँ पे सेकंड वाला OH directly attached to the benzene. When OH is directly attached to the benzene ring, क्या बोलते हैं इसको? Phenol. IUPAC name is phenol, also called benzenol. Both are correct. इसके लिए देखो यहाँ पे लिख दिया फिनॉल एंड में फिनॉल हो गया. And third position पे NH2 is present. So for NH2 I will use the prefix because NH2 has become my substituent. So 3-amino phenol. This is the complete name. NH2 is the substituent because OH has become my priority. एक को प्रायोरिटी मिलती है बाकी सब बन जाते हैं substituents. NH2 is the substituent and so for NH2 I have to use the prefix. If you check your table of prefix and suffix, you will see that amino is the prefix for NH2. Next one. So I have two groups. One is acid chloride, that is COCl, and one is ester. So one is what? Ester, and one is acid chloride. प्रायोरिटी सीरीज को अगर आप चेक करोगे तो एस्टर और एसिड क्लोराइड में से आप देखोगे द प्रायोरिटी गोज टू एस्टर. इसके लिए यहाँ पे 1 डाला गया है जहां पे एस्टर अटैच्ड है और यहाँ पे 2. So out of ester and acid chloride, ester gets your priority. तो फिर COCl क्या बन जाएगा? Substituent. Because acid chloride को प्रायोरिटी नहीं मिली है, प्रायोरिटी तो एस्टर को मिली है. So COCl will become my substituent and hence I will have to use the prefix for COCl. So COCl का prefix अगर आप चेक करोगे, एसिड क्लोराइड का prefix क्या होता है वो? टेबल में चेक करोगे तो ये होता है क्लोरोफॉर्मल और क्लोरोकार्बोनिल. बोथ आर यूज्ड. इसका प्रेफिक्स है ये. तो ऐसा आएगा 2 क्लोरोकार्बोनिल बिकॉज 2 पे लगा हुआ है COCl तो वो प्रेफिक्स है आपका 2 क्लोरोकार्बोनिल. एंड फिर बेंजोएट. व्हाई बेंजोएट? बिकॉज वो एस्टर है और बेंजीन के साथ COO है तो वो बेंजोएट हो जाएगा. Benzoate is the suffix for the ester which is directly connected to benzene ring. So benzoate. And since this is an ester, ester के लिए पहला क्या रूल होता है कि जो ऑक्सीजन के बाद वाली चीज हो, यानी ऑक्सीजन के बाद ये वाली चीज है, उसका नाम पहले लिखा जाता है. Hence I have written ethyl first. So always remember that if it is an ester which is getting the priority, then ester के लिए हमेशा आपको ऑक्सीजन के बाद जो चीज प्रेजेंट है उससे चालू करना होता है. So एस्टर के अंदर ऑक्सीजन को देखो, ऑक्सीजन के बाद जो प्रेजेंट है उसको पहले लिखो आप. इथाइल लिखा है मैंने because C2H5 is present after the oxygen atom. So ethyl, and after ethyl I write 2-chlorocarbonyl benzoate. That benzoate is the suffix because the ester is directly attached to the benzene ring. Next. This is the next compound. इसके दो आईपीएसी नेम्स पॉसिबल है. एक तो आप नॉर्मल तरीके से करोगे तो 1-chloro-2-methyl benzene आएगा because CH3 is methyl and Cl is chloro. So 1-chloro-2-methyl benzene आएगा. Both are substituents, chloro and methyl. 1 and 2 पे प्रेजेंट है. 1-chloro-2-methyl benzene. अगर 1-chloro-2-methyl benzene बोलना है तो यहाँ पे 1, यहाँ पे 2, यहाँ पे 3, 4, 5, 6. 1-chloro-2-methyl benzene. One chloro-2-methyl benzene. Now there is another way of writing this. इसका दो आईपीएसी नेम्स पॉसिबल है. कैसे देखो, if you go back to the table of aromatic compounds, some basic compounds, look at the first one. When CH3 is directly attached to the benzene ring, उसको क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग? टोलुइन बोलते हैं. टोलुइन, TOLUN, टोलुइन. तो अगर मैं यहाँ पे CH3 और यहाँ पे Cl कर दिया तो ये तो टोलुइन है CH, तो यहाँ पे अगर मैं 1 डालूं और यहाँ पे 2 डालूं तो क्या मैं इसको बोल सकता हूँ ना 2-chloro-toluene. ये भी तो एक तरीका हो सकता है. Why toluene? Because CH3 is directly attached to the benzene ring, तो उसको बोलते हैं टोलुइन. अब उसके adjacent पोजीशन पे अगर Cl है तो 2-chlorotoluene हो जाएगा फिर. तो ये भी एक तरीका हो सकता है इसको नेम करने का. करेक्ट.
Yes.
So there are two possibilities. आपको एग्जाम में कोई एक ही दिखेगा ऑप्शंस में, लेकिन आपको पता तो दोनों ही होने चाहिए. So 2-chlorotoluene is also correct. 2-chlorotoluene. Both are correct. इसके लिए दोनों के मैंने बाजू में टिक टिक कर दिया है. Both are correct. Seventh one. Now OH is present as the principal functional group because there is no other competitor. एक ही अगर फंक्शन, एक ही टाइप का फंक्शनल ग्रुप अगर प्रेजेंट है मतलब वो अकेला ही प्रायोरिटी ले लेगा, बाकी कोई है ही नहीं प्रायोरिटी छीनने के लिए. So the suffix will be for OH, which is ol. So benzene 1,2 diol. Di क्योंकि there are 2. So benzene 1,2 diol. ये हो जाएगा नाम. Come to the 8th one. अभी देखो 8th वाले में आपके पास फंक्शनल ग्रुप्स है, एक CHO भी है, एल्डिहाइड है CHO, और एक आपके पास CONH2 भी है. If you check the priority series, you will realize that CONH2 has a higher priority than CHO. इसके लिए मैंने वहां पे 1 डाला है जहां पे CONH2 का प्रेजेंट है C. इसके लिए इसको इस तरीके से नंबरिंग किया गया है. At the 3rd position, you see pH. At the 3rd position, you see pH. That means pH is also a substituent here. At the 5th position, you see CHO. That is also a substituent. Why? Because the priority has been assigned to this. ये मेरा priority है. एक बार प्रायोरिटी एक को मिल गई तो बाकी सब बन जाते हैं सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स. So this is going to be the name. CHO को फॉर्मल बोलते हैं जब वो सब्स्टिट्यूएंट होता है. प्रायोरिटी सीरीज में CHO बाद में है ना, CONH2 के बाद है. CONH2 को प्रायोरिटी मिल चुकी है तो CHO will be substituent. And substituent के लिए you use prefix. So if you look at the table of prefix, you will see that CHO के लिए फॉर्मल होता है prefix. So 5 formal. 3 phenyl. Why 3 phenyl? Because pH is called C6H5 or phenyl. Because here it is a substituent. And the actual suffix for this will be hexanamide. Why? Because there are 6 carbon atoms in the parent chain. And hexanamide because amide is the suffix for CONH2. CONH2 is the principal functional group, and that is why I'll have to use the suffix for CONH2. The suffix for CONH2 is amide, and so I have written hexanamide. तो pH लिख दिया है मैंने 3rd पोजीशन पे कैपिटल P स्मॉल h. उसका मतलब क्या है? उसका मतलब है C6H5. अब देखो राइट हैंड साइड पे नोट लिखा है, नोट में लिखा है ना pH means C6H5, or you can write it like this also. This is also pH. बेंजीन से एक लाइन निकला हुआ है तो उसको बोलते हैं pH. तो मतलब pH को मैं ऐसे भी लिख सकता हूं. So this is also pH. This is pH. Why? Because बेंजीन से लाइन निकला हुआ है, ये वाली लाइन, और वो अटैच्ड है किसी दूसरे चेन के साथ. So I can write it like this also. Next one. Again, the principal functional group here is CONH2. That is amide. But now look at the difference. Now your amide is directly connected to the benzene ring. Directly benzene ring के साथ connected है amide. यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं था 8th वाले में. 8th वाले में आपका जो CONH2 amide था वो बाहर के चेन में था, वो बेंजीन रिंग के साथ अटैच नहीं था. बट अभी देखो यहाँ पे CONH2 डायरेक्टली बेंजीन रिंग के साथ अटैच है, और इसके लिए मैंने बेंजीन रिंग यहाँ के साथ अटैच है उसको 1 डाला है. So this is carbon 1. And then I've numbered the ring. ऐसे आएंगे फिर this is going to be the full name for ethynine. What is ethynine? This thing is called ethynine. जब ये सब्स्टिट्यूएंट होता है उसको बोलते हैं इथिनाइल. देखो फोर्थ पोजीशन पे निकला हुआ है ये. दिस इज कॉल्ड इथिनाइल. सो फोर्थ पे इथिनाइल मतलब ये हुआ ना, ऐसा हो गया ना मतलब. सो दिस इज व्हाट इथिनाइल बिकॉज इट इज अ सब्स्टिट्यूएंट. ओके 3 पे फ्लोरो है, 5 पे मिथॉक्सी, and then benzamide is the suffix. Why benzamide is the suffix? Because the CONH2 is directly attached to the benzene ring. If you go back to the table and find such a compound, you will see that it is benzamide. Look at the 12th one. So you see benzamide. So CONH2 is directly attached to the benzene ring to benzamide. इसके लिए यहाँ पे देखो फाइनल नेम में वही आया. Tenth one. Now, if you look carefully, you have again two functional groups. One is this, which is called ketone, and one is this, which is called amine. दोनों में से प्रायोरिटी सीरीज अगर आप चेक करोगे तो कीटोन को ज्यादा प्रायोरिटी है. तो जहां पे कीटोन है वो मेरा मेन चेन बन जाएगा. यानी क्या हुआ मतलब कीटोन आपको साइड चेन में दिख रहा है, यानी ये वाला मेरा मेन चेन बन जाएगा जिसको मैंने बाहर कीटोन जहां पे दिख रहा है, और जो भी रिंग है एरोमेटिक वाला पार्ट है वो पूरा बन जाएगा सब्स्टिट्यूएंट. Why? Because principal functional group जहां पे प्रेजेंट होता है that is my main chain. So this portion will be my main chain because this has the principal functional group. So this will be the name. 1 पे क्या है सब्स्टिट्यूएंट लगा हुआ है पूरा एक लंबा चौड़ा सा. इट इज अ कॉम्प्लेक्स सब्स्टिट्यूएंट बिकॉज सब्स्टिट्यूएंट के अंदर भी आपका फंक्शनल ग्रुप है जैसे NH2 प्रेजेंट है, तो उसको बोलेंगे कॉम्प्लेक्स सब्स्टिट्यूएंट, और इसके लिए इसको ब्रैकेट के अंदर लिखा गया है. So 4-aminophenyl. Why 4-aminophenyl? Because if I number the substituent, मैं सिर्फ substituent की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो this is my substituent. यहाँ पे 1, यहाँ पे 2, यहाँ पे 3, यहाँ पे 4. तो 4-amino, बिकॉज प्रेफिक्स यूज करना है हर चीज के लिए. कॉम्प्लेक्स सब्स्टिट्यूएंट के अंदर हमेशा प्रेफिक्स यूज करना है. So 4-amino is the prefix for NH2. So 4-amino phenyl. Why phenyl? Because that is the substituent. That is not my main chain. इसके लिए phenyl. So 4-amino phenyl is the complete complex substituent present in this compound at the first position. इसके लिए 1 डाला है पहले, 1. And then butan 2-one. Why butan 2-one? Because you have a ketone present at the second position of the main chain. So butan 2-one. There are 4 carbon atoms in the main chain, and that is why it is but. So butan 2-one is my parent or the main chain. Okay. Coming to this one. NH2 will get the priority because NH2 is coming in the priority series. So वहीं पे 1 डाला है मैंने. So 2-methoxy because 2 पे OCH3 लगा हुआ है. So 2-methoxy aniline. Why aniline? When NH2 is directly attached to the benzene ring and NH2 is the principal functional group, we call it aniline because it is mentioned in the table. आप check table में तो यहाँ पे आपको दिखेगा. Third वाला देखो. NH2 is directly attached to the benzene ring, so it's aniline. Next one. COH is the principal functional group, but it is directly attached to the ring, so I have to use the word carboxylic. I cannot say OIC. I have to say carboxylic because it is directly attached to the ring. So benzene 1,2 dicarboxylic acid because there are 2 COH groups. First and second positions पे है, इसके लिए 1,2 I have written. Dioic allowed नहीं है क्योंकि dioic तब होता है जब वो रिंग के साथ अटैच नहीं है, अगर वो बाहर होंगे तो. बट यहाँ पे COH रिंग के साथ डायरेक्टली अटैच्ड है, इसके लिए आप बोलोगे डाइकार्बोक्सिलिक. Similarly, this one again, यहाँ पे CHO डायरेक्टली अटैच्ड है रिंग के साथ, तो कार्बोल्डिहाइड 1,3. So benzene 1,3 dicarbaldehyde. CHO is the principal functional group here. Next one. There are 2 groups, but COH अगर है तो COH कोई priority मिलेगी because वो हमेशा पहले आता है. So वहीं पे 1 डाला है मैंने जहाँ पे COOH attached है. Fourth position पे CHS है. CHS as a substituent is called thiophormyl. ये आपको पता होना चाहिए इसलिए लिख दिया मैंने. So this will be the name. Fourth पे है तो fourth thiophormyl. Fourth thiophormyl benzoic acid. benzoic acid because COOH is directly attached to the benzene ring. तो अगर आप टेबल चेक करोगे तो वहां पे आपको दिख जाएगा बेंजोइक एसिड लिखा होता है. टेबल चेक करते हैं, देखो लिखा है, चेक द फिफ्थ वन. Next one. Principal functional group is CHO, but that is not directly attached to the benzene ring. That is in the side chain. इसके लिए मेरा साइड चेन बन जाएगा पेरेंट चेन एंड जो रिंग है वो बन जाएगा सब्स्टिट्यूएंट. So this ring is the substituent. The ring is the substituent. Why? Because the principal functional group is present in the side chain. This is my side chain and this will become my parent or the main chain. क्यों ये मेंशन बन गया? क्योंकि यहाँ पे प्रिंसिपल फंक्शनल ग्रुप है which is CHO, that is aldehyde. इसके लिए यहीं पे 1 डाला गया है, नंबर 1. This carbon is number 1. This is 2 and this is 3. So 3-phenyl prop 2-enal. Why al? Because the suffix for aldehyde is al. थर्ड पोजीशन पे रिंग है बेंजीन का, इसके लिए 3-phenyl डाला है. 3-phenyl prop 2-enal. So always remember that जहां पे प्रिंसिपल फंक्शनल ग्रुप रहेगा वही आपका मेन चेन बनेगा. अगर प्रिंसिपल फंक्शनल ग्रुप बाहर है, रिंग के बाहर है, तो फिर रिंग के बाहर वाला पार्ट मेन चेन बन जाएगा और रिंग बन जाएगा सब्स्टिट्यूएंट. अगर प्रिंसिपल फंक्शनल ग्रुप रिंग के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है तो आपका रिंग विल बिकम द पेरेंट और द मेन कंपोनेंट और फिर रिंग के बाहर की जो चीज है वो बन जाएगी सब्स्टिट्यूएंट. यानी जहां भी आपका प्रिंसिपल फंक्शनल ग्रुप प्रेजेंट है, that part will always be your parent structure or the principal structure or the main chain or the main structure. Look at the 16th one. OH is present as your principal functional group. और तो कोई है भी नहीं OH को छोड़ के, तो वहीं पे 1 डाला है जहां पे OH अटैच्ड है. अब नंबरिंग या तो आप क्लॉकवाइज कर सकते हो या फिर आप एंटी क्लॉकवाइज कर सकते हो. अगर आप क्लॉकवाइज करोगे तो आपको मिलेगा 2 और 5 पोजीशंस ऑफ द लोकेंट्स, यानी जहां पे सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स लगे हुए हैं. और अगर आप जाओगे एंटी क्लॉकवाइज आपको मिलेंगे 3 और 6. तो 2 और 5 और 3 और 6 में से 3 और 6 गलत रहेगा. So 2 and 5 will be taken as the correct set of locants. So this will be the name of the compound. 5 bromo because 5th पे bromo है, 2 fluoro because 2 पे F है, and then phenol. Why phenol? Because OH is directly attached to the benzene ring, तो उसको phenol बोलते हैं. Seventeenth one. COCl is your principal functional group. और तो कोई है भी नहीं, तो COCl will become your principal functional group. तो वहीं पे 1 डाला है जहाँ पे COCl attached है. And then this will be your correct name. 3 पे bromo, 4 पे chloro है. Benzoyl chloride. What is benzoyl chloride? टेबल चेक करोगे अगर आप जो ऊपर है. This is called benzoyl chloride. This thing is called benzoyl chloride. When COCl is directly attached to the benzene ring, it's called benzoyl chloride. तो इसके लिए एंड में उसका नाम आया है benzoyl chloride. This end is this. Because the end always is decided by the principal functional group. Here the principal functional group is COCl, which is directly attached to the benzene ring. इसके लिए benzoyl chloride. Eighteenth one. फिर से वही है, OH is the principal functional group. So वहीं पे 1 डालेंगे जहाँ पे OH attached है. So ये हो जाएगा फिर 2,4,6 trinitrophenol. Why phenol? Because when OH is directly attached to the benzene ring, it's called phenol. जैसे यहाँ पे जब COCl डायरेक्टली अटैच था बेंजीन रिंग के साथ तो उसको बोल रहे थे बेंजोइल क्लोराइड. यहाँ पे OH डायरेक्टली अटैच है बेंजीन रिंग के साथ उसको बोलेंगे फिनॉल. ये सब कहां से पता चला? टेबल से. चेक द टेबल अगेन. So this is your table. तो देखो सेकंड वाला फिनॉल है, OH अटैच्ड है डायरेक्टली, तो फिनॉल बोल रहे हैं इसको. And check the 11th one. 11th वाले में देखो COCl डायरेक्टली अटैच्ड है बेंजीन रिंग के साथ, so benzoyl chloride. Nineteenth one. Benzene will become your parent because benzene के साथ कोई दूसरा एक चीज अटैच्ड है और कोई प्रिंसिपल फंक्शनल ग्रुप भी नहीं है यहाँ पे, तो ऑब्वियसली बेंजीन विल बिकम योर पेरेंट. बेंजीन अगर पेरेंट बन जाएगा तो बेंजीन को नंबर करेंगे. So this will be the name, cyclohexyl benzene. So which is your substituent here? This thing is becoming your substituent. So YL जोड़ा है cyclohexyl because that is a substituent. ट्वेंटीथ वन आपको याद रखना है, इसके लिए मैंने 2 स्टार मार्क्स डाले. ये स्पेशल एक कंपाउंड है, तीनों के तीनों करेक्ट नेम है, तीनों के तीनों उसके IUPAC नेम्स है. एक है स्टाइरिन, एक है इथिनाइल बेंजीन और एक है विनाइल बेंजीन. ऑल 3 आर करेक्ट. IUPAC names. Okay, so this completes our aromatic compounds का nomenclature. अब लास्ट एक चीज बाकी है, अगर दो aromatic rings है, अगर दो aromatic rings है, तो फिर याद रखो कि aromatic rings अगर दो प्रेजेंट है, then the rings are substituents always. जैसे एग्जांपल नंबर 1 में देखो, दो रिंग्स है तो इसके लिए यूज किया हम लोगों ने फिनाइल, क्योंकि दोनों रिंग्स को सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स माना है. So propane is my parent chain. 1, 2, 3. Similarly, the second one also, if you see, there are two benzene rings. So both of them will be called phenyl. तो ये हो जाएगा नाम इसका. अब मैंने इस तरीके से नंबरिंग किया है मेन चेन को, तो इसमें क्या आ रहे हैं पोजीशंस ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स, एक 1 पे आ रहा है, एक 3 पे ब्रोमीन आ रहा है और एक 5 पे आपका दूसरा वाला रिंग आ रहा है. सो 1, 3 and 5. If I go in the opposite manner, अगर मैं ऐसे जाऊंगा, तो प्रॉब्लम ये होगा कि फिर 2, 4 और 6 मिल जाएंगे. 2, 4, 6 will be the positions of the substituents. तो 1 और 2 को कंपेयर करूंगा मैं, तो ऑब्वियसली 1 और 2 में से 1 इज लोअर, इसके लिए ये सही है और वो गलत है. तो ये नंबरिंग जो अभी मैंने किया है ये गलत है, क्योंकि इससे 2, 4, 6 आ रहे हैं पोजीशंस ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स. So it's wrong. So I'll make it correct, and this is correct. Because now I'm getting 1, 3, 5 as the positions of substituents. Hexane, because there are 6 carbon atoms.